Hello and welcome back to our RedRun challenge in Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate, where today we are going to be gathering some bloodstones and hopefully bringing down a Giginox along with the gathering. Hopefully. I don't think it's guaranteed to spawn, but it can spawn, and if anything spawns, it will be the Giginox. Unfortunately, we can't get Feline Game Changer until we reach high rank. So we can't guarantee that the unstable environment is as unstable as they say. But we can hope. And we're getting... okay, we got Woodsman. Was looking for Woodsman and Gatherer because we're going to be using pickaxes to get bloodstone from gathering spots. So at least we got one of those. But yeah. If a monster spawns, it will be Giginox. And I've got Cha-Cha here to just show me whether or not Giginox is around. Got it with the fluffy mask, that is. Because, yeah, that's what the fluffy mask does. So, Cha-Cha, is there a Giginox? Not right this moment, there isn't. That's unfortunate, but we've still got until, I think, the 15-minute mark before things can't spawn anymore. So, yeah, there's still a chance that we'll have a Giginox. It's just not on the map right now. So in the meantime, we can kill these Giggies in hopes of getting some monster fluid. Also, I feel like this is telegraphing that, yeah, they do expect a Giginox to be in this quest. And we can also try and complete the quest. But that seems kind of weird, doesn't it? Well, not complete it, but, like, get the bloodstone we need. So basically, Giggies and mining is what we're going to do while waiting for Giginox. And hopefully the waiting won't be in vain. Yay, monster fluid. Because I really want the Giginox hides. Like, I think there are 2 other Giginox quests for us in low rank. One of them being the event quest, which I don't want to do if I've got any other options for getting the Giginox parts I need. And yeah, we need 2 of the Giginox hides that we have right now in order to continue the low rank experience. And then we need 4 more after that if we want to be able to make the Giginox weapon. So, like, yeah, we need to get 4 more Giginox hides, is what I'm trying to say. And without a Giginox, we can't do that. So, yeah, Giginox, please. And apparently, we are getting not the most mining spot rich of tundras today. Unfortunately, velvety hides are not what I'm after. Oh, Cha-Cha can carve things when he's got that mask? Suddenly, I'm far more interested in letting Cha-Cha keep that mask than I was before. Like, sure, we'll lose out on some damage potential, but that's what we've got Kayamba for. And if Cha-Cha carves, like, all the big monsters we kill, then that would just mean an extra source of parts that's much more likely to actually get us things than having Cha-Cha with an attacking mask, because they don't steal things that often. Unless you give them the Melinx mask, which we don't even have yet. So, yeah, I think I'll leave Cha-Cha in the fluffy mask, just in hopes that the little bugger steals things. Or rather, carves things. The not stealing one. That's what I want. I'll be asking Cha-Cha to show me whether or not there are any large monsters on the map. Every time I notice that the little minute hand there ticks another 5 minutes off. Because that way we'll know it's been long enough for it to have recharged. And, seems like a good time frame to use it. And hopefully we actually get a hit just on the next one, because there's clearly not that much mining left for us to do. Missed. We're almost to the 5-minute mark. Incidentally, at the time that I'm recording this, Monster Hunter World releases tomorrow. Though it will have already released by the time this goes live. But that means that I am in a position to make some predictions and or say some things that I'd like to see. And by the time this is out, we'll probably know whether or not they ended up being true. Or in the game or whatever. So, one thing I would love to see in Monster Hunter World is Giginox. Because it's an interesting fight, and they actually have a surprisingly small amount of flying wyverns confirmed for Monster Hunter World. And also, Giginox hasn't shown up in a Monster Hunter game in the main series since this one. And it's only been in a single spin-off, and that was Monster Hunter Explorer, which was largely based on this game. And which wasn't very good besides. Actually, no, I take that back. It was a decent game. It was just really heavily paywalled. Also, dang it, still no Giginox. But yeah, Giginox hasn't been getting the love it deserves, where Kezu has been getting all of the love when Giginox is just a better execution of the creepy, flabby cave dweller concept. But I honestly don't really expect Giginox to show up in Monster Hunter World. Partially because, yeah, they haven't shown off any pseudo-wyverns in the game yet, which pseudo-wyverns are the flying wyverns that travel on all fours using their wings as legs or arms. Like Tigrex, Barioth, and Nargacuga, Giginox. They haven't shown off a single one for Monster Hunter World yet. Though I really hope that Monster Hunter World at least gets one or two of them. Because, like, I really like Tigrex. And Nargacuga is pretty alright, and Barioth is pretty good, and all that. It'd be a shame if there weren't any pseudo-wyverns. Especially with the low count of flying wyverns. Like, at the time of this recording, the officially shown off monsters, which are the only monsters I know of for the game, I know that Reddit is, like, chock full of leaks because some places have released the game before the street date. But, like, yeah, at the time of this recording, they've revealed 4 flying wyverns for Monster Hunter World, where they've revealed 5 fanged wyverns, when prior to World there was only Zenogres as fanged wyverns. They've revealed 5 brute wyverns. Admittedly, Joe is DLC after launch, but still 5. They've revealed 6 elder dragons, more than any other category of monster thus far, which is just odd that there's more elder dragons than anything else. But I doubt that'll actually be the case in the final game. And yeah, like, game could use Giginox. But the other reason that I don't expect Giginox to show up is the caves that they've shown thus far with the exception of maybe some of the ones in the Rotten Vale, seem to be pretty claustrophobic, not really big enough for Giginox or even Kezu to take advantage of them. Because, like, this is about the smallest cave in this game that Giginox can show up in. And it's pretty sizable. Like, Giginox can hang out on that wall or on the ceiling or on the floor, but like Monster Hunter World's caves, Giginox would kind of have to squeeze around for the most part. And I don't feel like you could do Giginox justice without having walls and ceilings for it to climb on. So yeah, I don't really expect Giginox in Monster Hunter World. But hopefully that also means we don't get Kezu. Because if we do get Kezu and not Giginox, I am going to throw a freaking fit. Because that simply should not happen. Having Giginox get snubbed in favor of Kezu for a 5th game in a row, no thank you. Okay, so we're at the 10-minute mark. Still no Giginox. That's not a good sign. But hey, I can kill another 5 minutes, and if Giginox spawns, great. If not, I just cry a little inside, but move on with my life. I definitely do expect to see more flying wyverns in Monster Hunter World. Like, 4 is a surprisingly small number when flying wyverns are usually the most populous monster class. Like, and I'm talking like flying wyverns. Puke is a bird wyvern. Like, it may have wings, but it's a bird wyvern. So, yeah, like, thus far we've got Rathalos, Rathian, Diablos, and Legiana as the only flying wyverns confirmed in Monster Hunter World as of this recording. And while I think they're all great monsters from what I've seen of Legiana, I kind of want to see more flying wyverns. Like, flying wyverns that do more with the chassis than just be flying wyverns. Because, like, look at the pseudo wyverns. They do more with their flying wyvern skeleton. Because, like, before Tigrex was added in, all the flying wyverns had basically the same skeleton. Like, in Monster Hunter 1 and until Monster Hunter Portable 2nd or Freedom 2, there were no pseudo wyverns. All the flying wyverns were basically the Wrath skeleton. Like Gravios, Basarios, Rathalos, Diablos, Monoblos. They all had basically the same skeleton, and for the most part, they shared a lot of their moves. But then Tigrex comes along, and he's a new flying wyvern who behaves completely differently from all the rest. And then in Portable 2nd G or Freedom Unite, Nargacuga comes along and yet again behaves completely differently from all the rest of the flying wyverns. Like, even Tigrex and Nargacuga, despite being on a very similar, if not the same skeleton, have some differences between one another. And then we got Seregios in 4U, who is yet another flying wyvern who behaves completely unlike any other. And I honestly want to see more of that. Like, only having 4 flying wyverns, which 3 of them are on the classic flying wyvern chassis, and Legiana may or may not be. I haven't seen quite enough Legiana gameplay to make that call. Like, yeah, I feel like they could do more. So I do expect to see more flying wyverns. I also expect to see, like, a handful of things that we haven't seen yet. Like, for previous Monster Hunter games that were the first in a generation, their habit is to show about half of the monsters in the game. And they've shown us, what, 26, 27? I think 26 thus far at the time of this recording. And I forget whether I said it before, but I know there are spoilers on Reddit, but I've been avoiding them like the plague. So I don't know how many people have found, but I expect there to be a good number that they haven't shown off. I don't expect many of that number to be fanged wyverns, because they've already got 5 of those. Not counting the minions, of course. If you count the minions, then there's more. I wouldn't be surprised to see a third monster join Kuluyaku and Tsitsiyaku, because those types seem to just go in threes. Chacha didn't say anything there, which tells me that maybe it wasn't off cooldown yet. Because, yeah, like, there was Velocidrome, Gendrome, and Iodrome at first, and then we got Great Jaggy, Great Baggy, and Great Roggy, though admittedly Roggy didn't show up until Portable Third. So, yeah, they tend to go in threes. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a third monster like those. Maybe a monster class they haven't shown us any examples of yet, like Leviathans. I wouldn't be surprised to see a Leviathan or two. Even if there's no swimming, Royal Ludroth and Nibblesnarf have shown us plenty that Leviathans can work just fine without water. And I would not be surprised to see more brutes, even though they've already shown us 5. Especially because Radoban and Uragon are basically the same monster. Just one of them is going through its goth stage and wearing a bunch of bones. I actually would really not be surprised to see more cousin species like Radoban. Because, yeah, if they did it once, what's stopping them from doing more? What else would I not be surprised to see? Well, we've got Cushy and Teo, so Cammy is not unlikely, I would say. But then again, also not super likely, because they've done Teo and Cushy without Cammy before in Monster Hunter 4. So maybe they would add Cammy as DLC at some point. Be like, oh, hey, it was there all the time, just invisible, so no one ever saw it. But as of this DLC, etc., etc. They haven't shown even a single fanged beast, which is really weird to me. I would expect to see at least one show up. Whether it be one we've met before, like Blangonga, though they haven't shown off a tundra area yet, so I wouldn't really expect Blangonga unless they actually have a tundra that they've just been keeping under wraps. Or maybe it could be like Quechawacha, though that would be a little odd seeing Quecha. Or if it was Rajang, which I kind of hope doesn't happen. They could stand to give Rajang a rest. It's been in all the Monster Hunter games since 4. But then again, with them bringing Joe back, I wouldn't be surprised if they put Rajang in the game at some point, if not at launch. And, so yeah, fanged beasts, I would not be surprised to see some of those. We haven't seen any Neopterons, but part of the reason we don't really see many of those in the series as a whole is they've gone on record saying that it's harder to design Neopterons and have them work right in-game. Neopterons and bug-like or crab-like monsters. So that's probably why we haven't seen any bug or crabs, any bugs or crabs in World thus far. Wouldn't be surprised to see Zinogre, though I also wouldn't be surprised if they didn't bring Zinogre back, because we've got Tobi Kadachi, which is another lightning fanged wyvern. So it would have a little bit of overlap with Zinogre if they did bring Zinogre back. 20-minute mark. It's now or never, Cha-Cha. Okay, apparently it's never. We do not get a Giginox in this quest. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what all they will or won't be hiding from us in the full version of Monster Hunter World, but I really look forward to finding out tomorrow, or a few days ago, depending on whether you're me recording this right now or you're someone who's watching this from home. Yeah. Really sad we didn't get a Giginox today, but I got to just talk. That's not so bad once in a while. I just would have liked to also talk while hunting a Giginox. We also haven't seen what I would consider to be a real endgame type monster for Monster Hunter World yet. Like, sure, we've seen Zora Magdaros, but I don't expect that to be like the end boss, especially since it seems to be an event fight, and from what I've heard, you do it kind of while you're going through stuff. So, yeah. Who knows what'll happen. Let's just check with these little jerks, see what they got us. Cha-Cha's gotten us some decent stuff here. How about you, Kayamba? Oh, Kayamba got us nothing. How very kind. Actually, hang on. I need to check the Moga forecast. Peko, Jaggies, Rathian, and Ludroth. No laggy. But I think we're going to see a laggy tomorrow anyway, as I do my HR1 urgent, because that'll unlock our ability to fight a Giginox for sure in Tanzia. So that's it for this episode. Join us next time when we hopefully rank up to HR2. See you then, friends.